Hello guys, today we are going to see again another important concept from C++, that is abstract class. What is abstract class? What are its properties? This point we are going to study in this session. So the learning objective of today's lectures are abstract class and the properties of abstract class, and these things we are going to see with practical examples. So let's start with an abstract class. The class which consists at least one pure virtual function is called as abstract class. Before this, I just want to revise the pure virtual function concept. So pure virtual function is a virtual function of base class for which we don't have any definition. And obviously, as it don't have any definition, it will be assigned equal to 0. So such functions of base class will be called as pure virtual functions, and the class which consists such pure virtual functions will be called as abstract class. Generally, base class is considered as abstract class. So let's start with one example. So see this program. Here there is one class A. Class B has been inherited from class A. Both functions have one function, that is show. B class also have function show. In main, pointer of class A has been created, object of B has been created, address of B1 has been stored in A, and through that pointer A1 I have called show function. So obviously output of this program will be derived class. Why? Because A1 is pointing to class B, that's why show function of B class will be executed. So what is this part? So we know that if you want to give access of show function to pointer of base class, you have to copy this function of derived class in base class. But if you are going to copy this function, if you are going to override this show function in base class, according to the pointer to derived class concept, base class show will get executed. But we don't want that, or we don't expect that. As your A1 is pointing to B1, this function should get called, and that's why we have made that show function as a virtual. So after making any function of base class as a virtual, its body will not get execute, and as it is not going to execute, what we have did, we have not given definition for that, and we have initialized it equal to 0. And when we are going to do this, when particular virtual function is initialized to equal to 0, automatically that function, that virtual function will be considered as pure virtual function. And what we have studied in slides, we have seen that the function which consists at least one pure virtual function is called as abstract class. So in our example, class A having one pure virtual function, that's why this class A is called as abstract class. So why this class A is an abstract class? Because it consists a virtual function equal to 0, means a pure virtual function, and as this pure virtual function is part of class A will be considered as abstract class. So this is a definition of abstract class. So generally base class is considered as abstract class. Why? Because generally pure virtual function will be the part of base class, and that's why base class will be considered as abstract class. Now we will see the properties of abstract class. First property is instance of such classes cannot be created. What is meant by instance? So instance means an object. Now what we will do, we will check whatever we have seen, is it correct or not. So I will first save this program, then compile, and I will check. So there are 0 errors in this program. Now what I will do, I will try to create object of class A. I will save this and I will compile and I will check. So there is one error, that cannot create instance of abstract class A. So we have not used abstract anywhere in this program. However, compiler has been decided that class A is abstract class. Why? Because it consists a pure virtual function. So first property whatever we have studied, it is correct that object of abstract class cannot be created. So let's move towards the next property, and the next property is but reference and the pointer of such classes can be created, means pointer can be created. And now in this program itself we are seeing that pointer a1 is present in this program, and when we are going to compile, this compiler is not giving any error. It means that, what is the error? Undefined symbol b1, so I have given here C. So compiler is not giving any error. It means that pointer of abstract class A can be created. So this is a second property. Now we will see third important property about abstract class. What is this property? This property tells that all properties of such class, means all properties of abstract class, can be accessed through an object of derived class. Obviously, because if you are going to do this, obviously base class pointer is pointing to the derived class object, and through that object we are going to access all that property. Means though we are not able to create object of abstract class, we can access properties of abstract class with the help of derived class. No, because there is a relation between base class and derived class, and that's why. So next point is the pure virtual. So see, this is very important concept or very important property of abstract class, and that is the pure virtual function in base class must be defined in derived class. What is it mean by this? See, as one class is an abstract class, 100% we are sure that it will consist one pure virtual function. So such function which is pure virtual, such function you have to define in derived class. If you are not going to do this, your derived class will be considered as an abstract class, and if it will be or if your derived class will be an abstract class, you can't create object of such class. So just check whatever we have studied practically. What was that point? That point was saying that the pure virtual function of base class should be defined in base class. So just go for this. What I have did, I have not given pure virtual function show, I have not overridden or I have not defined in derived class. So meaning of this, as you have not given definition for show function in derived class, your class B will be considered as an abstract class, and as your class B, now in this situation as your B is also abstract class, compiler will give error here. Why? Because here you are trying to create object of B, and according to this concept your B is also an abstract class. So first I will save this. First I will save this program and I will compile and check. Cannot create instance of abstract class B. So this is error. Why? Because you have not given definition for base class pure function. Now remove that. After removing this, we can say that we have given definition for pure virtual function of base class in derived class. Again save this and compile this. Now there is no error, means now your B is not an abstract class. So this is very important and last property about abstract class. So finally I want to conclude this point by saying that abstract class is a class which consists at least one pure virtual function. Properties of abstract class: instance means object of such class cannot be created, but reference and pointer can be created. And last important property is pure virtual function of base class, that is of abstract class, must be defined in derived class. So this is all about abstract class.